Hi, today we have with us Aida Murad, who is an old friend of mine, fellow spiritual traveler, and by profession an artist, which is to say a painter. She does some very interesting and creative approaches to painting, and one of the things that I find particularly interesting, and about which I invited her here to talk about, is the connection between art and healing, which is a major theme for Aida. Aida?
Well, it's so good to be here, Terry. You have been such an impactful person in my life, and I'm really honored to be here.
Thank you.
You're spot on. Art and healing are so central to my practice, and it really goes back to how I even started.
How did that happen? Please tell us.
So it was, so how sometimes the worst thing in your life could turn out to be the best thing. It's a gift in disguise. So I used to be semi-paralyzed for about 4.5 years due to severe arthritis. And long story short, I ended up having permanent damage in my hands. And if you see, there's damage in them.
They look like hands to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite proud of them. I used to hide them for a very long time. And the doctor said I'll likely never use them again. And at the same time, I was looking for work because I just moved to the US from Jordan. And people would ask me, why should we hire you? And I really couldn't answer that question because I didn't know what was special about me. So with both hard news in general, I went back home and I asked God, because I was praying, what is special about me? Help me see it. And I was guided to my fingerprint. And I don't know how it happened. I was really guided to go to the art store, buy paint, and start painting with my fingers.
This is a wonderful story, but did you have an art background of something?
No.
Really?
So I'm self-taught, but I come from 4 generations of maternal artists. So, but I'm the first professional artist. So they were just all self-taught as well. And it was so beautiful to sit with my grandmother who showed me her mother's art and her art.
Did they recognize you as family art?
It's quite different styles.
I'm sure.
We all have different, but they were so proud.
You're talking about differences of generations, not just a few years.
But my grandmother said, you're fulfilling my dream.
That's wonderful. You're fulfilling my dream. That's wonderful.
It's such
But more of your story.
So that's it.
You bought paints, finger paints.
I finger paints, and when you go through paralysis, and one moment you're walking, one moment you can't walk, and during the day it's extremes. You're forced to just be in this present moment, which we hear it a lot, that your greatest gift is the present moment. So art helped me deal with all the hardship that I felt and helped me process, because we have a shame culture about talking about the things that are hard.
About our deficits, as we have come to call them.
Exactly. And my weaknesses, quote, or my damaged hands, I put them in air quotes.
Yes, and properly so.
So then it kind of just took a life of its own. I never thought I would be full-time, because I also thought that wasn't the smart thing to do. I used to be an economist for the government of Jordan, and I only became an economist because I thought I would be more respected, because that's a smarter position. And I thought art means I'm not really smart, which...
I'm pleased to say I don't think in those terms, but...
Neither do I anymore, but it delayed my process of becoming an artist.
So where can we see some of your work?
It's on my website, AidaMurad.com.
AidaMurad.com.
Yes.
AIDA
Yes.
.com.
And then Instagram. And then I usually am based in Los Angeles, so that's where I have my art studio. And I have a whole practice around, because for me, creating art is a spiritual journey. And it took me a very long time to even say that.
Do you have clients who look to you and your art for certain kinds of healing?
Yes. So I just got approached, just a simple example, one person has joint pain all over and wants to reimagine what their life could be without joint pain. So we're working on manifesting her future self. And also forgiving.
And you're obviously the person to speak to about joint pain.
Yeah, exactly. And then another woman, she's a mother and her son has autism. So she wants to just foster the best in him to be the best he can be. And she said, can we go through a process around helping him thrive? So I sit with him, get to know him a bit more, and then whatever I channel is for him, and everything's data, the texture, the color, the time away from the painting.
I think it's just wonderful, because we so often hear about health and healing and addressing the whole person, and to know, to learn, to understand that there's an art component in that. It's just wonderfully refreshing and obviously true.
I mean, if you think of music, music is all frequencies, but same with all our senses, they can be stimulated for whatever we choose to surround ourselves with. So art could be conscious art or unconscious art. And because I have rituals around making it even cleaner, and deepening the spiritual practice of it. And again, I say I channel it, so I hopefully place it in conscious art. And I've seen the effects of people, they come in, I don't tell them, for example, painting X is around joy and around forgiving your past. And I first ask a person, how do you want to feel? What is it that you're leaving behind? And Terry, what's fascinating is every person, before I tell them the intention of the painting, is attracted to the painting that they're setting the intention for. It's fascinating.
They're attracted to the healing they need most.
Healing they
That's
need most.
wonderful.
Yes, and sometimes they don't even know what they need.
That's wonderful. I hope we can hear more about that. Thank you, Aida. AidaMurad.com.